So basically that's my house sitting right over there. So I've just paddled across from there, across the Gamtoos onto the other side, opposite. It is a spring, at least just after neap tide. And I come across my little vessel there. So I've left the big boat at home and I'm coming to do two things. I'm coming to look for a grunter, or possibly some of those little garrick that have been around, and maybe if I'm lucky a cobby. I'm going to be rocking a Sure Strike topwater in bone white on the one rod, and then on the other rod a little 1/8 3-inch jerk shad. I'm going to go with the topwater first, make a couple of throws, see if there's anything around looking for a lunch. Then I'm going to work down this bank over here as far as I can go. The tide is dropping now and I often see grunters in this little shallow area here. And then there's quite a nice 2 or 3 meter drop off, about 10 meters off the bank. So I'll take a walk down that bank, throwing the topwater, and we'll see if anything comes out. Wish me luck and tide lines. Let's get going. Right, and there we go, throwing this tiny little 3-inch McArty's. I think this is going to be a little, it's a tiny little cob. Just look at that. Look at that. Tiny little cob. How about that, chaps? I've been throwing this thing now for about 100 meters down the bank. I had one on-off. Which I think was a little garrick, and then this tiny little cob came along and said hello. Now you can see it's a little 3-inch McArty fluke tail. There's the lure, nice tiny. Excuse my hands, guys, I've been working in the garden. But there it is. I'd put a little pink head to it just for a bit of accent. And I knew these guys would be here. I was going to stick with the topwater. Beautiful little cob. I was going to stick with the topwater, but I thought, you know, with this little lure I've got a greater chance of catching everything. Could be a bartail, could be a cob, could be a garrick, could be a grunter. Let's get this little guy back in the water, see if there's any more around. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me show you what I'm doing. It's a 1/8 leadhead, which I said I've made pink, on a 3-inch McArty fluke tail. Potting that in, I don't get very far, I'm casting against the wind. I'm on 8-pound braid, letting that sink down to the bottom, and giving it a little poke, just a little poke. I'm dying for a grunter. I took my canoe, as you saw, and came across the river. I can actually see my house. I might order a cup of coffee just now. And normally on this bank in the evenings the grunter are quite wild. I'm standing now where it's normally dry and there's a 3-meter drop off in front here. So I'm just waiting for the tide to turn. It is still pushing. And I think the little grunter will come on the bite. I've got my topwater rod behind me, but I'm hoping to get a grunter on this little plastic. Give it a couple of more casts here. Normally those cob are shoaling, so there's quite a few of them around. Quite funny if I smacked a big cob. Trying to get another good fish. You saw me land that about a 10-15 kilogram diamond on this setup the other day. I have caught some pretty nice fish on this rod over the years, but itching to do another cob, or a decent grunter for that matter. But anyway, let me get back to the fishing and we'll see you guys just now, hopefully with another catch.